Hey guys, Urban Reddit here, and this is r/MaliciousCompliance, where a boss tells a deaf girl to listen to transcript audio recordings. Anyway, I have 3 stories for you, so let's get right into it, shall we? This one's called Awesome Old Lady on a Train. This happened quite some years ago, and I had dizzy spells and would randomly pass out frequently. Still undiagnosed due to a crappy doctor, but went away on its own. Due to these dizzy spells, I was very hesitant to give up my seat on trains and buses, as I was afraid I would fall and hit someone or something. I would still stand up if someone really looked like they needed it and ask politely, but I didn't offer. One day I was getting on a train and an old lady carrying a cane wanted to board too. A gentleman offered her help. "Do you need a hand, ma'am?" "No, thank you. I don't even need this cane," swings it around, "but my husband insists I use it in case." She then hops onto the train. I ended up in the same area as the old lady, in 2 of the very open seats. After a few stops, a Karen enters. She had the haircut, the clothes, and the attitude. I'm surprised I didn't actually say haircut, but can I speak to your manager? Mostly read that part. By now all the seats are filled and there are already people standing around due to the lack of seats. Karen pushes through a few people, looks around and loudly exclaims, to no one in particular, "Will nobody offer a lady their seat?" Nobody responds. She then goes around complaining to a few random people sitting down that she needs to sit because she's been standing for over an hour. Oh, the horror. Try working retail. I know that one. And just needs to put up her feet. On a full train, okay. One person gets fed up and gives her seat, right across from the old lady from before. The Karen now has a seat, but still no place to put up her feet. She complains to the person next to her and to the old lady that these trains are always so cramped and that it would be good if people didn't need seats. She just gave them up. The awesome old lady took this as her cue, made a point of standing up really slowly and carefully grabbing a cane and clutching it tightly and said, "You can always have my seat. Your feet probably need it more." She then walked away very slowly, leaning heavily on her cane and asking people to please step aside so she could fit through. Karen got many angry glares at this point, and she called out to the old lady, "You can just keep sitting here, I don't need it that badly." And the old lady replied, "You just said you really needed it, so take it," and walked to the next cabin. Karen couldn't see her anymore at this point, but from my seat I could see the old lady standing up straight and picked up the cane, swinging it around again. I don't think many people saw it because everyone continued to glare at Karen until she got off at the next stop. The old lady just really wanted to teach Karen a lesson by complying and acting her age, making Karen look like a woman. She has been my hero ever since. Wow, that old lady is savage. She purposely gets up to make her look bad in front of everybody on that train, and for the whole trip all she got was dirty looks. Wow, nice. Let's move on to the next one, shall we? This one's called Boss Tells Deaf Girl to Listen to Transcribed Audio Recordings. Okay, no problem. I used to work for a telecom company that is one of the major wireless providers in the USA. My position was strictly technical, working in the Network Operations Center, or NOC for short. I had no interaction with customers, and any face-to-face interaction with co-workers or management was done with the help of my own interpreter, whom I've known for a few years. Cast is me, interpreter Sarah, B boss, C co-worker. Sarah and I arrived at around 8:45 as usual, and I got clocked in and Sarah clocks in on her laptop. I got an email from B to the tune of, "Come to my office please when you get the chance." Sarah and I head to his office where the following takes place. Apologies again. "Glad you are here. Here's a flash drive with some recordings on it. I need you to listen to these and just transcribe them into the CRM under X directory." Sarah and I gave each other an odd look. "Sir, I'm deaf. Sarah's here because I cannot hear and need her to tell me what you say." "Yeah, so I can't listen to anything without subtitles." "Well, have Sarah listen, then tell you what it says and you type it. That's what we pay her for, right?" This sounds like a logical solution, but goes against Sarah's contract. Well, no, it's not her job to do my job for me. Very very specifically, it states she is not to do any part of any assigned task for me. This would fall under doing an assigned task for me. Well, it needs to be done, said ProRevenge. Okay, then I'll ask you to do it then. Is that okay? No, I asked you to do it. Cue malicious compliance. Yes, sir. Sarah and I leave the office, and she asked me how I plan on doing what he asked. How are you going to pull this off? Well, the smirk, just watch. I get back to my desk and start googling voice. I plug the microphone in and the speaker and start playing the audio recording into the microphone, and it starts typing what it heard. The transcript was indecipherable. Sorry, guys. After about 2 minutes, he walks in and asks what the heck is going on. What the heck is going on? It's an audio recording. B asked me to transcribe. He said, figure it out, so that's what I'm doing. If you're out there, please write up your ProRevenge on this. Oh, okay. C leaves. Later we found out he went to Human Resources. I don't know all the details, and Sarah couldn't tell me what was really being said, since it was against her contract and is super serious, and she's a super professional. I finished and uploaded it to X directory and emailed him it was done. B via email. See, I knew you could figure it out, thanks. 20 minutes later, B comes rushing out to my desk demanding to know what I did. Do you think you're funny? This is complete gibberish, referring to Google Voice transcripts. I did my best, using the tools provided and the restrictions placed on me in regards to completing the task. Forget it, he storms off. He was right, it was a complete gibberish. There were barely any words in there, let alone anything resembling English. Well, if any of you guys have actually used the Google microphone, you probably know that it hardly ever works. Are you going to get in trouble? For a deaf person transcribing an audio recording all on my own, I think I did better than expected for any reasonable person. She smirked and patted me on the shoulder. If you guys want to know what happened, or any more details, let me know and I'll try to find out. I still talk to Sarah, so I might be able to get some more details from her. Co-worker, if you're out there, the password is yellow 5 shrinks. If you weren't sure if that was me or not. Okay. Edit. Sarah is not supposed to do my work for me, so listen to the recording and try and tell me what it said should work. It wouldn't be transcription of the audio, since there would be some stuff lost in translation. Since my boss's instruction for the task was to transcribe the recording, my MC was to take it to mean that being part of the assigned work. Sarah's contract explicitly excludes her from performing any work or tasks assigned to client. My boss was made to take a class by Human Resources akin to sensitivity training and learn who Sarah is and what she can and can't do. Also that she wasn't paid by the company but by a third party. Sarah informed me that the recording was a conversation between a co-worker and his wife that was personal. She didn't think much more of it than that. She assumed it was on company record line, since all calls on phones are recorded for Q&A. I haven't kept in contact with a co-worker, so I'm not sure if I'll ever know what happened on this end. Edit 2. I was not reprimanded. Boss and Human Resources next day apologised for the misunderstanding. The password is not a real password, but is in reference to an inside joke we shared amongst us. So it will be immediately known by a co-worker if they ever saw this. This happened a few years ago, so dictation software was in its infancy, really, compared to today. It's still in its infancy today, really, if you ask me. All the time you go and ask Google to search for something, or you give it a sentence so you can copy and paste it into Messenger or whatnot. I have dyslexia myself, so I use it a lot, as I find it hard to spell and read, as you probably worked out. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. Let's stop the yibber-yabbing. This one's called My Manager Accuses Me of Theft, He Got Fired. This is a long one. Longish. Way back in the early 2000s, I worked at Blockbuster Videos in the UK. Oh god, it really is old. It wasn't my first job, but I was still in high school when I started, so it was near as damn it. Okay, I had a pretty good working relationship with my boss, and quickly moved up the ranks to one of the deputy managers. I was the person the manager would call to cover shifts, and honestly, unless I had a really good reason, I always did the extra because I actually really liked the job. I'm a film nerd, so I loved spending my working days talking to customers about movies. It also didn't hurt that I could rent any movie anytime for free. Well, that's good. So this one particular Saturday we were slammed. 3 staff members called in sick. We had a new big release movie this week, and we had a big computer game release on Friday too, so it was manic. So a big computer game plus popular movie, new release. Yeah. Halfway through my shift, a guy comes in and says he bought a game the week before from the store and that he wanted a refund. He said I had served him but hadn't given a receipt. Now I did remember serving the guy but couldn't remember what he bought, and frankly, even though it's automatic to give receipts, I couldn't guarantee I had. Excuse me. The problem was that Pacific game was the only copy we apparently had. Our inventory said it was in store, but this guy had it, so somehow it had left the store without being processed. Either it had been stolen by this guy, or it was some kind of error on my part, or I had actively given it to him and pocketed the money. To be clear, these options are from an objective point of view. I never stole from that job, so I definitely didn't do the last. My manager was working with me, so we refunded the guy, took the game back, and then, for the rest of the shift, didn't speak to me once. As we closed the store that night, the manager took me into the office and proceeded to accuse me of stealing. Without evidence, he said I had sold the game and pocketed the money. I obviously denied the claim. Things got heated and it ended up with him telling me to hand in my notice 2 weeks. So I did. I was heartbroken because I loved the job. I knew I was innocent and I had given it by accident, but I would never knowingly steal. So, 2 weeks later, my notice period is up, and on my last shift, concurrently, the area manager comes in. Now, I have a good relationship with him at the moment. I'd been hired by them originally, and it was frequently noted by them that I had always seemed to be on the shift when they came in. They asked me how I was, and I said that I was sad that I was leaving. They didn't know this, so asked why. I explained the situation and they immediately went to the office. Half an hour later I got a call to go to the office. The AM was sat with the CCTV footage from the day the man said he'd bought the game in the video. It showed me serving him, then as he left he had a chat with the store manager. No sound on the CCTV, but they were clearly chatting. The manager was working in new inventory, ready to put out on the shelf. For some reason, the manager turned his back on the customer for a few moments, and as plain as day, the customer reached over the counter, grabbed something, and left. The area manager assumed this was the game. Well, the manager was called in. He was first asked why I had given him my notice when the accusation against me deserved a meeting with the area manager. My immediate dismissal if I was guilty. The manager just stuttered something about not wanting to make a big deal. Then the area manager asked the manager to explain what happened in the CCTV after showing it. The manager just sat quietly. Well, anyway, the area manager asked me at this point to rescind my notice, which I did. Though I kindly asked for a few days extra paid holiday because I felt embarrassed by the theft accusation, and the area manager agreed. The area manager then said that they would be taking a month's worth of CCTV footage to have it looked over because this act of negligence by the manager was a cause for concern. The blood ran from the manager's face at this point, but nothing further was said. I finished my shift and walked out with the area manager to enjoy my week off. Whew! That's a bit of a mouthful there. 3 days later I got a phone call from the area manager asking if I could meet him at the store that day. I obliged. When I arrived, the area manager took me in the office and told me there had been a situation. During the CCTV checks, it had become apparent that my manager had been using the store for other reasons. One, a number of nights over the course of a month he had closed the store, then after the staff had gone, he'd invite people in. One night he held a poker game in the staff room. Later we found out he'd been using the money from the tills to cover his losses and putting through refund notices to cover it. and on 3 other occasions he was bringing in women to have sex with in his office. Now the women were known prostitutes in the area. The manager was also married. Well, manager was automatically suspended while there was an investigation, and the reason I was brought in, I was asked to run the store in his absence. After the investigation was complete, it turned out the manager had been given thousands of refunds per month and falsifying who gave the refunds so it didn't look suspicious. This has gone on for years in multiple stores that he'd worked in. So because he accused me of something I didn't do, he lost his job and his marriage. His wife obviously wasn't impressed by the prostitutes, and I got a promotion and a lovely raise. Wow. So this guy actually thought he could get away with all this stuff. Playing poker, stealing money by doing refunds. And then he tried to blame it on somebody else. And when people learn that will never actually work, sooner or later you're actually going to get found out. I'm surprised this guy didn't actually get arrested. But anyway guys, that's all the time I have for now. If you enjoyed today's video, then please do leave a like. Don't forget to comment, and also don't forget to subscribe. Well, until then, I shall see you all in the next video. Bye bye.